When I used to work the morning show, sometimes lunch would be pizza, and sometimes a normal breakfast of eggs, and sometimes candy. It reminded me of being at the airport where there's no concept of time and anything goes. No judgment here. New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
Hello, hello, and welcome to New Day. I'm Kelly Hansen. Today we have a special edition of New Day, and I hope you will join us with some lunch. We're looking back at some of our favorite cooking segments, including viral sandwiches, snack and wine pairings, and much more. I might even be throwing it back to when I tried shrimp for the first time. And with that, I feel like I should be honest. I eat like a 12-year-old. I always hoped with time my palate would elevate, but turns out chicken nuggets and corn dogs are still a Kelly crowd pleaser. In all seriousness, I do want to be more confident in the kitchen, so I've made it my goal this year to cook 5 new recipes. Hopefully today inspires me to get started and helps anyone at home who also might be in a lunch rut. Well, let's start with eggs, typically considered a breakfast food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's always a winner. And yes, I meant to rhyme there. By now, you probably think you've heard of every way to cook an egg, right? We thought so too until cookbook author and chef Kenji Lopez-Alt proved us wrong. So you're going to show me how to cook an egg 2 different ways, right? So what are we doing first?
Yeah, well, normally you think of frying an egg, you think of butter or oil.
Yes.
We're going to cook it 2 different ways today. So the first way we're going to use heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Yeah, so you start by adding a little bit of heavy cream to the bottom of the pan.
So you would heat up the pan first, but again, not put anything else in it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So the pan is just at a little, you just want the pan hot enough that the cream comes to a simmer. You can start in a cool pan, add the cream, and just bring it to a simmer. And the idea here is that cream and butter are basically the same thing, just in different ratios. You know, both of them have a combination of water, milk fat, butter fat, and milk solids. The difference is that butter has about 80% butter fat, whereas cream has about 35% butter fat.
Okay.
Butter also has about 2 to 3% milk solids, so those are the sugars and proteins, whereas cream has a higher percentage. So what happens with the cream is that eventually you'll see as this cream starts to simmer down, all of the water content is going to evaporate away.
And meanwhile, a little sausage.
Yeah, we're going to put a little sausage in here.
Yes.
And meanwhile, the fat and the milk solids and the milk sugars are going to be left behind. And those are the bits. So have you ever made brown butter?
No.
So brown butter is when you take butter, you heat it up until those milk solids start to brown a little bit, and it gives it a kind of nutty flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So cream, when you cook it down, you let that water evaporate. It's essentially the same. You're left over with the same stuff as you were left over when you melt butter, except you have a higher concentration of those milk sugars and milk fats, and so you kind of end up with a flavor that's almost like extra browned butter. So it's gonna, you'll see, it'll get a nice sort of caramelized
It already
look
is
to the
smelling
side.
so good. And that's what I love about your cookbooks is you just explain things so well, and you have like just all this, everything's so scientific. And I think that's what's so interesting to people like me in the kitchen, that, I don't know, there's a point to everything that you're doing and a science.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're seasoning a little.
Yeah, just a little bit of salt and pepper.
And so about how long or when do we know, like, just, I guess, eggs to your liking?
To your liking, but as you can see, like, so it's going to start to get, you can see
brown.
that, yeah, exactly. So
Right.
the cream, it looked just like sort of simmering cream before, but now you're starting to see that it's actually breaking, and there's actually this
Right.
sort of fat that's coming out, and that's the butter fat that's coming out. So eventually,
Is
we're
this
doing
your
this-
favorite way, too, to eat
I don't know about
eggs?
I don't know about a favorite way.
okay.
There's all kinds of ways to eat eggs. I mean, eggs are my favorite food, among my favorite food, and this is
Really?
definitely one of my favorite ways to do it. This technique, by the way, it was my friends Alex and Aki Talbot. They have a blog called Ideas in Food that's been around. If you've been in the cooking industry, you're familiar with this blog.
Okay.
It's been around since like, I don't know, 2000 or so, a real old one. But I saw this technique there first. And there's another woman, her name is Lisa Steele. She has a book called The Fresh Eggs Daily book, and she talks about this technique also.
And you posted a video too about eggs that kind of went viral. It got a lot of views as well on your YouTube channel, and you have a lot of those videos that we're seeing here. And I heard, like, you can sometimes even have like a GoPro or something that you've had like on your head,
yeah,
like back in the day, to
I do
show
that
everything that you're
sometimes,
doing?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I strap a GoPro to my head and I show myself cooking a meal for my kids. So the other method we're going to use here, by the way, I'll get this one started as well. We're going to cook eggs over here in a little bit of chili crisp. So this is Kari Kari, which is a local Seattle brand, made in Seattle, chili crisp.
Yum.
So what we're going to do is just hold a spoon over the top and just pour just the oil in there.
And again, get your pan heated a little before and then pour that in.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so these eggs,
Is
you
this
can
already
see.
ready to taste test? Oh.
Yeah, we're going to get those sausages out. So you can see how well they brown in that cream.
That all went really quick, too.
Yeah, eggs only take a couple minutes to cook.
Yum, yum, yum. What do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that you see with people cooking eggs?
The biggest mistakes I see with people cooking eggs are, letting other people tell you how to cook them. Some people like their eggs hard, some people like them soft. So my daughter loves her scrambled eggs really hard. Like almost like she likes them like real nice and dry. Whereas my son, my toddler, prefers them the way I like them, which is kind of still soft and creamy. But I think, honestly, I think the biggest mistake people is letting other people tell them how to eat their food.
I like that. Okay, and then so at the end you kind of just sprinkled on some chives, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what you did. I'm gonna dive in and try this. I'm obsessed with eggs too. And then you're putting in here some more eggs with the chili crisp.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to
Okay.
fry these directly in that chili crisp oil.
Whoa. That is life-changing. That's so creamy and delicious. Oh, I don't want
can I
to steal
grab
from you. No, you can't eat my
I'm going to grab
eggs.
some of those, I like the crispy brown edges.
Yum. I do too. That is so delicious and creamy. I would have never thought of cooking it in cream, but it's absolutely fantastic.
And you think they're going to come out like almost like, well, when you see it, you think they might come out like a poached
Yes, that's
texture.
what I
because
was worried about.
Yeah, exactly. But the cream breaks down. It turns into, you get these really nice crispy brown edges.
So good. Okay, and while those are cooking too, tell people what you have going on right now. I mean, you have a YouTube series, you have a podcast. I mean, what's next? What's happening?
What's happening? Well, this year I'm working on a new cookbook.
You are?
Yeah, so I should have a cookbook coming out. It's another sort of big cookbook, sort of similar in scope and size to my first cookbook, The Food Lab. So that probably won't. Well, it'll probably take about 2 years to finish, but I'm starting work on that this year. And in the meantime, I'm still I'm on a quest to go to every single teriyaki shop in Seattle. So if you follow my Instagram or my YouTube channel, I'm doing that, visiting every single teriyaki shop. There's a lot of them.
That is going to take you how long do you think that's going to take you to visit every single one? I mean, Seattle is known for our teriyaki. That's incredible.
Chicken teriyaki was invented in Seattle, in fact. Yeah, well, the chicken teriyaki, as we know it, was created in Seattle. I've been to, I've reviewed 27 of them so far. I think in Seattle itself, there's 80 something, and if you include the greater Seattle area, it's well over 100. So there's Seattle. I mean, I grew up in New York, and to me, when I moved to Seattle, I realized Seattle teriyaki is it's like what pizza is to New York. Every neighborhood has its own spot.
Its own flavor too. Everything is very different. Okay, how are these looking?
These are looking good to me.
Yum.
So we're gonna pour that off, and then at the very end, I love recipes like this, which require very, very little. Very few ingredients, very little extra work, but they kind of boost flavor, So we're going to finish it also with some chives, and then I'm going to take some of the
extra.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this chili crisp, by the way, it's made locally. I love it because it's got all these extra sort of crispy garlic bits in it. It's a really nice flavor.
Oh, all right. Well, dive in. I won't steal it all from you this time, but I gotta taste test this crunch. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
It's that crunchy garlic, right?
The garlic is so good in that. Okay, I need these both in my life. That is absolutely incredible. I can't believe that's local, too.
Yeah, Kari Kari.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay,
right
can you say your favorite teriyaki place?
My favorite,
is it too early to tell? You can tell me that it's just too soon.
I would say that the one I go to more than any other, not necessarily because it's my favorite, but because I'm down in the area frequently, is Rainier Teriyaki. It's on Rainier Ave, just a little north of Columbia City.
Okay.
I take my daughter to gymnastics down there, and so we stop at Rainier Teriyaki on our way home. But that is among the best.
Do you get like just your chicken teriyaki spicy, or are you just tasting like the basic
Sometimes I get
chicken?
spicy, but no. When I'm doing the taste test, I always get a combination of chicken teriyaki with gyoza.
Oh my gosh, yum. Okay, that's my order. Thank you so much for being here. I definitely am going to follow along to see where you're going next, and
Awesome.
and all your videos are so amazing.
Well, thank you.
Well, I feel like I just got some top secret information. Rainier Teriyaki is the place to try, and that may be what's for lunch later in the show. We've got a lot more foodie fun headed your way this morning. Up next, Cork and Fizz shows me 5 really fun and affordable wine and snack pairings, and they're all from Trader Joe's. And then later in the show, viral TikTok star Zoe Khan is on her quest to find the perfect Seattle sandwich. She brought me a few of her current favorites for me to try, so stay with us.
New Day Northwest is back, now from the Safeway Kitchen.
We know there are a lot of Trader Joe's fans out there, and today we're talking affordable snack and wine pairings that you can get all from inside Trader Joe's. Haley Bowman from the wine education website Cork and Fizz did some of the research for us. She came up with 5 different pairings that are sure to impress.
Started off with one. This is a staple that like my husband has always loved, the spinach and artichoke dip. So
I know,
I had to go that
same.
way. So if you want to try a bite of the,
I absolutely am
the
going
dip,
to.
and then while you try that, I'll talk about the wine.
Please.
So this is paired with a Soave. This is an Italian white wine. It's very fresh, very light. It's lemony, and it kind of works as a palate cleanser to the creamy spinach and artichoke dip. And the bottle's only like $6 at Trader Joe's.
$6?
I know, right?
This tastes so expensive. This next one, I haven't tried this snack, but I know it's a crowd favorite.
Yeah, this came on recommendation. Someone here likes plantain crisps, so you have to find out who. But yes, so they reminded me when I had a bite of one of just like a light potato chip. And so I was thinking light potato chip might want something a little off dry, which in the wine world means like a hint of sweetness, not to like scare people off. It's not super sweet, but just a hint of sweet. So I chose this. It's called Mbali. I have a joke with friends. We say Mbali because it's just fun to say. But it's a South African Chenin Blanc Viognier, just a hint of sweetness, and it works like salted caramel. You have a little salt from the chip, a little hint of sweetness in the wine, and they just kind of elevate each other.
Wow, it really does. This pairing, again, this chip is it's like giving chip and salty, but not. It feels healthy, dare I say?
I mean, healthy with our food and wine today.
I mean,
well,
I don't want to. You got to partake too.
Oh,
in this
absolutely,
too.
absolutely.
Cheers. What are you? Because I feel like you're able to taste a little more of all the notes. Like I don't know if this is giving me like a Sauv Blanc. It's not overly sweet at all.
No, it's just that hint of it, and I think it gives it a little body. Like on the aroma, I'd say there's also tropical notes, which felt good pairing with the plantain chip as well, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of in that same world.
I'm into it. Next, you have a red wine, which is usually my favorite. I'm a red wine girly, so I'm excited about this one. What are we pairing?
Yes. Okay.
next?
So when I was testing all these, this was definitely my favorite pairing.
Oh,
so,
you can even say. Okay,
yes,
favorite
and
pairing.
So these are the bird's nest. So they're like fried onion and carrot, and I think kale as well. So we're kind of going healthy again, but they are fried.
Okay.
I
never met anything fried I didn't like, so.
Reminded me of a blooming onion, and so that oily crispiness, I wanted a brighter wine to pair with it, but maybe something with a little more richness, which is why I went red. So this wine is a Valpolicella Ripasso, which sounds really fancy.
It does.
Lovely Italian red wine, really fruity, a little bit of earthiness, but just like easy drinking, and again refreshing with the bird's nest, that fried oiliness.
Like it really takes the bite, because you're right, this is a straight blooming onion. It takes me back to Outback right away. Fruity wine, and I'm usually not always a fruit forward is not always what I go for, but it's not overly fruity and punching you in the face.
It's also lighter, and it has that earthy undertone, which I think goes well with the vegetable flavor in the bird's nest.
100%.
Okay, moving on to what is something that's very special to me. I'm originally from Wisconsin.
Okay.
So cheese curds are kind of like in my blood.
It's a staple. It has to be.
So we have fried cheese curds, and again, it's that fried, a little oily, very fatty with the cheese. So we're gonna pair it with a rosé, and honestly, it's probably cheating because a good rosé pairs with just about anything in my mind.
Oh my
but
gosh.
Aren't those so good?
This cheese curd.
It's like dangerous
need
because
a
I would just
moment.
eat all of them.
So cheese curd, have that, and okay, and
Yes.
then now
and
the
this
wine.
is the famous. Have you ever heard of the
Cheers.
chicken wine?
No.
It's got a chicken on the label. I promise there's no chicken in the wine. You're like, what are you
Chicken
giving
wine.
me?
What's happening this morning?
No, so it's got the chicken on the label. It's from La Vie.
Say that again.
La Vie,
Ooh.
very lovely French Rhone Valley rosé, a blend, fresh, light. Like I said, goes well with the cheese curd.
Okay, let's try it and see. Oh, it's
Right?
summer. It's spring. I'm on
This
my
is-
porch.
yes.
I'm diving into a rosé. That's really.
Isn't that so good?
That's. I don't know how to like. It's not too like dry or like how would
No,
you
and it's-
describe? I love that flavor.
It's just that really bright, like red fruit without being sickly sweet, right? It has that like acidity, but then it has something on the backbone, whether it's like a vanilla or like like just something there that like makes you feel like it's not just fruit happening.
Okay, we got to end on a high note. You guys, these pretzels, like, oh, okay, so you have almond butter.
I did. I know. I looked everywhere for the peanut butter, but you were saying maybe you bought them all out at the last Trader Joe's.
Like I said, I bought them all.
And so I tried these, and I really wasn't sure how I was going to find a wine to pair with it because the almond butter is pretty sweet. And I'm sure that's the same for peanut butter as well. I have these all the time.
Yeah.
But it's also salty. And I ended up finding this orange wine, which is essentially a white wine that's made like a red wine. They put
I've never heard of that.
I
Yeah,
know. They
what?
put it in contact with the skins of the grapes. And so it gives it a little more oomph, a little more of that like dry sensation in your mouth, and a nutty flavor. So, right?
So you
see
were
where I'm going?
nutty? Okay, okay.
And then I think that ended up working really well with the almond butter pretzels.
Okay, well, cheers. Orange
Cheers.
wine, first timer, but it matches my outfit.
What do you think? It's different, right?
I think I was thinking like orange was gonna hit me in the face and it
Yes,
was gonna
yeah.
be so, but not at all. Yeah.
No, it's very much like a white wine, but like that, a little richness. There's also a little bitter to it, I think.
Yes.
And I think the salty sweet of the pretzel kind of balances that bitterness out, so it's not too bitter.
It doesn't like really taste like wine. For me, it's like almost like I'm drinking an orange like LaCroix.
Yes.
Like,
Or
it's
like,
just
do you think of
light.
cider? A lot of people think
Yes.
of cider when they're having an orange wine. It has that similar taste.
So much fun. And when we come back, we're talking sandwiches. Zoe Kahn went viral on TikTok for her quest to find the perfect Seattle sandwich. She shows me a few of her current faves after this. Welcome back. My next guest is on a quest that we think is pretty fabulous and delicious. Zoe Kahn is originally an East Coaster, now living in Seattle. She misses her East Coast Sammys, and so she's on a mission now to find Seattle's best sandwich, and she's sharing her journey on social media.
I grew up going to my hometown deli, shout out Rocky's Deli.
Ooh, shout
out. In Millwood, New York, and we'd go there all the time and we'd pick up sandwiches, we'd eat them in the car, and this was like a beloved tradition for us.
Aww.
And I came out here and I couldn't really find that like deli culture that is very prevalent on the East Coast. People love their sandwiches, their breakfast sandwiches, their bagels, their pizza. So when I came out here, I was like, okay, I am gonna be on a mission to find the things that I love back home.
Yes.
And I feel like Seattle's sandwiches, like the best sandwiches, are hiding in plain sight. You just gotta know where to go and what to order and what to look for.
And you're our girly for this, so taste test time. We're starting off strong in Ballard, right? What do we have here?
Yes, this is the Ragin' Cajun. It is their best seller. I was chatting with the owner, Emily, and she was like, 50% of our sales are the Raging Cajun. Like, it is so popular. I feel like it's a Seattle sandwich staple.
What's in this? This is so good.
Yeah, it's got, so it's like turkey, onions. What's key about this though is the salsa. So it's like, it's a mayo and Tabasco, and then there's a secret ingredient that I can't tell you, but I really feel like the sauce on the Raging Cajun is what makes it. And then their bread is so good too.
I don't know how we're gonna top this. Okay, this is the Other Coast Cafe.
You got it.
So good. Okay, what's next?
Okay, next we have the Italian hoagie from Post Alley Pizza. They're right by Pike Place Market. And it's a tiny little shop, but they do these hoagie sandwiches in addition to pizza, of course. And they make all their bread. So this is like a beautiful sesame Italian hoagie. They're making bread fresh daily. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
So this is like cured meats, shreddis, provolone, but I think also similar to this, the sauce here is key. So this is, they call it the jazz sauce, and it's got chilies and anchovies, and like it's got this like tangy, savory flavor to it that's really good. He was like, this would also be really good on pasta, so now I'm gonna do that.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. The bread too with the sesame. Yeah. I love everything that's happening right now. Okay, Post Alley Pizza. Yes. And then next up, what do we have there?
Okay, so this is the Thanksgiving from Valhalla. They're in Greenwood and on Mercer Island. For me, like, I absolutely love Thanksgiving food. So to be able to have a sandwich that has those ingredients like stuffing and bacon and cranberry sauce, and it's got a rosemary aioli that's insane. So
is that bacon?
Yeah, and
on
it's
it
bacon.
Too?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know how bacon slipped in there because that's not a big Thanksgiving food, but
I'm here for it. Anytime we want to add bacon is just fine with me.
Yeah.
This is Thanksgiving.
I know.
In a bite.
Totally, and it's like cozy like Thanksgiving, and yeah, very nostalgic. If like Thanksgiving is your holiday and you're like missing those foods, you can get this year round, which is pretty cool.
That's what I was gonna, I can't believe you can get that year round. That never happens. So good to know. Okay, and our last one, which I've kind of seen on Instagram, you talked about this one. I've been really excited to try this place. What is this?
Okay, so this is the eggplant parm from Salumi, and this is the sandwich that I just have, it's been really hard to top this sandwich. Like, it's so good.
And then you gotta, right?
You gotta dunk, you might need a napkin.
I know. We'll try our best here. Take it away, Zoe.
So, I feel like the eggplant parm is not necessarily the order from Salumi that you would expect. Like, Salumi is known for their meats. But for me, when I saw that they had this on the menu, I was like very curious about it. And then when I got it, I was like, whoa, this is so good. The bread, the panko crust on the eggplant, there's like an herb spread. It's just like hitting all of the marks for me.
After the break, we're getting inspired to get outside and forage. Ashley Rodriguez shows me a delicious spring forager's tart right after this.
It's a new day.
Welcome back to this special episode of New Day, where we're celebrating lunch all morning long. My next guest is really getting outside and foraging for lunch. Cookbook author Ashley Rodriguez showed me the recipe for a perfect tart using spring veggies. Okay, well, let's get started today too. What are we making today?
Okay, so we're gonna make a spring foraging tart. So basically, all of this bounty that we have found, we're gonna put it on some puff pastry.
Okay, I like that.
It is not bad. So first, let's start by making a little sauce for it. This is just gonna be a mascarpone cream sauce. So I'll have you go ahead and whisk this. I'm gonna pour in a little bit of heavy cream. This is just mascarpone in there. Does not have to be perfect.
It's not going to be if I'm involved, but we're trying our best here.
And then I'm gonna grate in some fresh garlic.
I'm already making a mess, but that's the fun of it, right? Okay, so garlic and whisking.
Yeah, doing great.
Going in.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yum.
Okay, so then while you're doing that, actually, let's add some of our
let's do it.
Our onion grass salt here.
That
Why
smells
not?
so divine.
Yeah. Get some of that green.
Yes.
This is just the season of green. All the green things.
Oh God,
Doesn't it smell so good?
It's like giving like those onion yummy like chips and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't believe it's so like natural and out in nature. That's amazing.
So fun.
Okay,
so we have some puff pastry that I have here. I kind of like to create a little border. So I'm just gonna etch roughly about a 1-inch border. And then if you want that one a little crazy, we'll just redo that, no problem, because you're gonna go ahead and cover that up
with all this yumminess?
With all the sauce.
Okay.
And if this is easier to use,
yeah,
go
maybe
for it.
so. Perfect. Okay, so you're just pushing this
Yeah,
around everywhere, a nice
exactly.
yummy layer.
Yes, a nice
Within the little rectangle.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, whoops.
Whoop,
See?
that is totally fine. It's very, very forgiving.
It's rustic,
Yeah.
you guys.
And I'm just chopping up some spring onions. I like to use, what you can find in the market and out in the woods all at the same time. So this is really, really good to use to put asparagus on as well.
Oh, I bet. This would be a great little Easter tart, too.
Oh my
I feel like you would really
Yes.
impress everyone.
For sure. Oh, you're
Okay.
doing such a great job.
Thank you.
That's
Okay, I think we're
amazing.
practically done
Yeah.
there. What goes in?
Okay, I can take that from you. Okay.
Tasting while we're going along. That's my favorite part.
Perfect. Okay, so now we can just take some of our delicious forage things. So these are morels.
Okay.
That were dehydrated, and then I just rehydrated. So these are last year's morels because morels haven't quite started popping up yet. But they will be soon. So we're just gonna
look at those.
Just to bring them back to life, and morels dehydrate really, really nicely. You just want to pour some hot water over the top of them and then give them a little squeeze. You can chop them up if you want. We're just gonna this is so rustic.
Fun.
And then make sure you save that broth because that is liquid gold right there. So that can go in soups and risottos.
What
things
else
like
goes
that.
in there?
So let's put some of the onions on top. You can just go ahead and scatter.
We like it.
All right. Okay, so then we can put some of the onion grass. You want to just kind of scatter that along there.
Sure.
This
Okay.
is just
Look at
very-
this. All the colors. Okay.
And then let's put some nettles, but I'm not going to touch them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
To get rid of the sting of nettles, you just want to, you can roast them in the oven like we're about to do. You can dehydrate them or you can blanch them. So you just cook them for about 30 seconds in boiling hot water. And then you want to stop the cooking in ice water.
Oh my
And then what
gosh.
you can do with that is turn it into puree. And this time of year, I stock up on a lot of nettles and fill my freezer with puree because this is so delicious in soups. I like to make some green pasta with it.
How long would this cook? And I'm going to try our finished one there too,
Yes.
which looks beautiful over here.
All right,
I think
so
you have a
you-
knife for me
Yes,
as well.
I do.
Well, I dive in.
Yeah,
Okay, so how long does that bake?
Okay, so we're gonna start this at 415 degrees and then cook that for about 20 minutes. Turn down the oven to 350 and cook it for another 20 minutes until it's all the way cooked through. So look at that beautiful mess. But we finish with a little bit of shaved Parmesan.
So good.
There you
And tell
go.
me about your 2 cookbooks too.
Yeah, so Rooted Kitchen came out last March. It's a book about using food as a way of deepening your connection to the earth. So there's some recipes that do use some foraged ingredients, but it's a very approachable way of getting outside. The recipes are very, very seasonal.
Yes.
But things that you can readily find, like nettles, or right now maple blossoms are perfect. And then this book came out last year. It's an ode to my love of mushrooms. And so it contains some of my favorite notes for using some mushrooms in the kitchen, but really it's just like, I just love all mushrooms. And we live in such a beautiful place.
We really do.
We have a bounty.
Well, thank you so much. This was fantastic. That is going to be my breakfast, lunch, dinner today. I so appreciate you coming. When we come back, we're talking seafood. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I recently did try shrimp for the very first time in our kitchen, and it was all caught on tape, so stay with us.
New Day Northwest is back now from the Safeway Kitchen.
Welcome back. This has definitely been a year of firsts for me, getting out of my comfort zone and trying new things like shrimp. Yes, it's true. Until recently, I've never actually eaten it. This all changed with Chef Joel Gamron.
I'm not gonna poke fun at you that this is the first shrimp in your life.
You should put me on blast.
Tell me what's the deal? Is it just gross you out?
It does. Like, I'm looking at this right now, and I don't really even know where to begin.
It's a little alien looking.
Yeah, like it has legs, this tail. I know I'm not supposed to eat that. How do you peel this? Fresh, frozen?
I mean, first of all, I want to say you are so not alone. A lot of people are weirded out by shrimp. It's a texture thing. They don't know how to cook it.
It is a texture thing.
It's all thing. And I also want to say, commend you because we are like live on TV, and you're trying this for the first time. So
Thank
you're
you, my
amazing.
friend.
You've already making the first step, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I said 2025. I want to get out of my comfort zone. And instead of me ever making shrimp that might not taste the best, why not taste some amazing shrimp from the man himself?
Yeah. First of all, it's spring in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
The grills are starting to come out. Mine is. I have to like get all the rust out. And it's just, you want to be outside, right?
Yeah.
And shrimp, let me just say, just to start selling you and you guys at home.
Please sell me.
Okay, super healthy.
Yeah.
And cooks incredibly fast, like 2 minutes. And really cost effective, like not gonna break the bank. And I think really impressive. So like, it kind of hits, it's a grand slam. And it's all four. It's awesome, okay?
And I should impress people with my cooking game
even
and
yourself.
shrimp.
This is a Tuesday night thing, so come on over here.
Okay.
These are red Argentinian shrimp. They sell them at Safeway. They're amazing. Now, when you buy shrimp, this is weird for people. You want to buy frozen shrimp. A lot of the time you see like the fresh shrimp out by all the other fish. Pass that up and go buy the frozen shrimp if you can. Do you know
why? No.
Because they go and pull the shrimp out of the water on boat, and they kind of clean them there, and then they flash freeze them. So they're really frozen at like their peak. And when they de-thaw, it's like, how long have they been out for? Like 4 or 5 days. So they kind of lose freshness. So you want them frozen, even I know that's a little bit of backwards.
That is such backwards thinking, but I'm so glad you said that. Okay, I would have failed that test.
That's okay. And so what I do to de-thaw them is I put them into the fridge. So I take them from the freezer into the fridge, go to work, come here, do a great segment, come on back. They're going to be soft like this, okay?
Okay.
And there's a little peel on them. These are already kind of like opened for you, and they come this way. And you just kind of start in the back, and you just open them up, and just peel them. And a lot of them already come peeled like this, so you don't have to do this step.
Okay. This
Kelly,
actually
you
is
are
not,
doing
this
so
isn't freaking
good.
me out. It is a texture thing, like you said. Like I'm seeing like some veins, some tails, some things are happening.
I get it, and it's kind of bouncy. It's like one of those things. But it is so easy to do. You crushed it. Look at her first shrimp. You guys at home, give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
I love it.
Do you do anything else, or that's as clean
so
as it
put it
gets?
in the bowl, and then with these shells, we love to put them in water, and you make shrimp stock. This is great for chowders and risottos and sauces. So don't throw away your shrimp shells, okay? These are awesome.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're left with all these shrimp. Now we're gonna make a quick little marinade. You can do this. Soy sauce in, Kelly.
On top of all the shrimpies?
Top of it. I got a little bit of olive oil. That's our favorite. This is O Organics. It's awesome. And then find your favorite kind of glazy. We're using a chili glaze.
Oh, yes. Give me some little heat,
You like a little heat on this?
Oh, yes.
Totally, right? And then I've got some limes, and you know, marinades are a little bit weird with shrimp because when you add lime, what do you think happens to the shrimp? Any idea?
No idea. It gets zesty.
Yeah, it does get zesty, but it also starts to kind of cook the shrimp. So you just want to be careful. It's kind of like ceviche. Have you ever had ceviche?
No.
Well, it's when you marinate seafood in something like lime or lemon or anything acid, and it starts to cook it. So you don't want to let it go for too long, but you can see how glazy and delicious that looks.
Yeah, so how long would something like this marinate for?
Maximum 30 minutes.
Oh, geez.
Okay, but if it was a chicken, something like that, you could go for like an hour. So then, I want you to hold it like a C, like this.
Hold it like a C.
Yeah, and go under the tail, through the top, kind of like that.
Oh.
You are doing amazing.
Oh my God, Joel, thank you.
Keep going. So under the tail, through the top. And we're going to do 4 of them. You are making this look so easy, Kelly.
Joel, you're making my whole day. This actually isn't freaking me out as much as I thought it would be.
It's not that bad.
And the marinade smells delicious. Okay. See, I was getting
so many options. Now, one thing I forgot to mention,
confident.
These skewers, and this goes for everything we grill this summer, you guys, you really want to soak the skewers in water. That way they don't get caught on fire. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit more olive oil.
Olive oil too, you gotta you can't skimp on the olive oil too. You need a good olive oil, right?
Yeah, that's why we do the organics. We love it. All right, I put a little bit down on the grill, and then these go right down.
I like that. Okay, so I don't have a grill, but I could get something like this on the stove and still grill. Thank you.
And you get those char
I'm making
marks.
a real mess.
And then I'll show you what I like to do. This is a good trick for anything you're grilling this summer. is take a little bit of that marinade
Yeah.
and just kind of dab it as it cooks.
And this, you said it cooks really fast. So how fast are we talking
We're
on
talking
each
a
side?
minute per side, girl. Okay? This is the most convenient food there is.
Okay, it actually is smelling good. Like, I'm feeling like I'm outside, I'm at a party.
I think you've got this.
I don't know. We'll see.
And you're right, this for a party, you load them up on the skewers, you have them in the fridge, then you just do, you have a beer or a little bit of a cider, whatever.
Yes.
Okay, can you give a little dab of the chili? Give a little dab of the chili.
Oh, so now we brush it on.
Yeah, brush a little bit, just to
brush a little
glaze
more.
it.
A
Look
little.
at Kelly go. Can we get close on there? Doesn't that look great?
I'm painting. It's art.
Yes. Okay, so one cool trick with shrimp and any fish, if you're doing like halibut on the grill or salmon, I like to give it a little bit of a squeeze of citrus on the grill, but at the last minute.
Why at the last minute?
Because you kind of lose it when it cooks, and it's like if you do it too early, it like goes away.
Okay.
So like right now, when there's like 30 seconds left, give it a good squeeze. Go
Give it
for
a good squeeze.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
and it's
really.
gonna kind of smoke up. Yeah, I'm going all. You're getting messy here.
I am.
Doesn't that look incredible?
Gosh.
I know. And then we just take it to a plate.
So how am I knowing that this is done? Like with shrimp, it's just easy enough that you can.
Well, let me
it's
ask you, how do you think you know it's done?
I don't know. The sear looks pretty, but
Yeah, the sear looks pretty, and also
the color did look like it changed.
Yeah,
slightly.
it turned a little bit more pink, and also it curls really tight. Oh. See how these are a little bit, I don't know, see how these are more loose?
Yeah.
And these are like really tight?
Okay.
That's how you know. So these look awesome. They are done.
Yum.
You ready?
I'm going to taste test my first shrimp.
We're going to do a hot one, too, if that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of these off. I'm going to put them on a little plate. I'm so excited for this.
I'm like nervous and excited, but if I was ever going to try it. Okay.
I mean, this is the way
and
you
so you
cook
put
them.
some extra little like marinade or chili. What's that happening on
a
the
little
side?
extra chili sauce if you want a little dippy poo.
Perfect.
And then I just add a little bit more limes. You can add a little torn cilantro or mint, whatever you got.
Oh.
But doesn't that look awesome?
It looks delicious. And while I'm tasting, which I know, I hear it's a finger food, so I can just dive in, not eat the tail. Chicken, beef, like how do different like ways that you marinate other proteins? Tell me about
Great question. So marinade does two things. I know. Look, can we just take a moment? What do we think?
Oh, wow.
Are we in?
I don't understand why that's not like weird for, it's all in my head.
Wait, do you like it or not like it? I don't know.
I really like it. I don't understand why though. It's such a texture thing for me.
Right?
Now that it's like cooked, it's not as like bouncy like you said. The marinade on this is fantastic.
Salty, umami, sweet. It's amazing. All right, you asked a great question. So marinades for other things.
Yeah. Longer,
marinades do
shorter.
two things. It gives you flavor.
Yeah.
And it also makes the meat more tender. So remember how you were like the texture change? It's the marinade and the cooking of it. So that makes it really good. So chicken, beef, a little bit longer, shrimp, a little bit shorter.
When we come back, lunchtime is almost here. I've got a spicy roundup of hot topics with the team and some hot takes on lunch choices when we come back.
It's a new day.
Welcome back. All right, we couldn't talk about lunch all morning long without actually eating it, right? It's time for a lunch round of New Day Hot Topics, and all my producers, Susie, Rebecca, and Joseph, are here, and you brought your lunch.
Well, of course.
You did. So what's everyone having for lunch? Rebecca, I feel like this is...
So I pretty much bring like a salad. It changes. This one is maple bourbon bacon. It's like one of those bagged salads that you get at the grocery store.
I love those.
And then I put it in my little IKEA stuff, which I love to do. And then
Because it elevates it, makes it
no, because it's easier. And also, like, so I'm a little bit of a grazer, which means that I don't eat a ton at one time. I kind of pick throughout the day. So I won't usually have this hummus and carrots for lunch, but that's a snack at some point during the day.
Costco, Kirkland Signature, we
I
love
those hummus cups.
Yes, so do I. I'm a creature of habit. I pretty much get the same thing every single day from Evergreen.
Every day?
Every day. If I could just do something like that, I would probably save a lot of money.
You probably would.
But I'm obsessed with this. It has pickled onions, egg, bacon, avocado.
The Cobb Your Enthusiasm.
Cobb Your Enthusiasm from Evergreens. And then they give you this macrina, like focaccia bread. And then I always have to have a sweet treat. This is a cookie today, but it's like a little piece of like chocolate something. Every meal. I don't know what, I really need to get it together, but this is my lunch every single day.
I love that for you.
And I'm still drinking my coffee from this morning because that's
Why not?
how it works.
You're a grazer too.
I
with
am.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then there's this. And
So this is probably the least popular lunch at this table, I would say, based off this crowd. But I never eat the same thing for lunch every day. It's always different. So I am eating a lot of tinned fish right now. So I have my favorite tinned salmon from Trader Joe's with some crackers and some homemade pickles that I made. Yum.
That is exciting me, but the tinned fish.
Not so much.
No.
So much.
No.
I
Susie?
don't really smell it though.
Yeah, it's not too fishy.
No, it's not too
Yeah,
bad.
true.
It'll get there.
Healthy fats.
You're sitting right next to him.
So I don't eat the same thing every day either.
Yeah.
Good for you
I make
guys.
a lot of salads. I'll bring everything and then chop it here because I'm too lazy to do it at home.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But I also love to eat Mexican food whenever I can.
Yes,
and
you
so
do.
Taco Time's now selling these. They're crisp burritos, frozen, and I just put them in the air fryer.
Are those beef,
so good.
chicken?
These are
What's
the
your
beef crispy.
Oh,
And
yum.
they taste exactly like the ones at the.
And the sauce
Those-
is now.
that
And
one's
the
really
sauce,
good.
yeah. I brought extra for everybody.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
But here,
Ooh.
yeah, you were talking to Kenji Lopez Alt about his favorite.
Teriyaki.
You got it out of him.
I know it took
So
a lot, but I got
then
it out.
I decided we should try it, and so this is Rainier Teriyaki.
There it is.
Oh
So
my
everybody
gosh.
can dig in on this one.
Absolutely. And while we're digging into you guys,
try
New
these.
Day is actually sort of at brunch time.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is better? Breakfast, lunch, brunch? Like, I'm a brunch girly through and through, obsessed. I love it.
I
Brunch
really like
only
lunch.
happens twice a week.
well,
I feel like that shouldn't be an option.
Yeah,
Right, I
I
agree.
agree. Yeah.
I agree.
You guys, brunch can be any day you want. Just make,
But then
like,
it's not
eat.
special,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, that's a weekend thing for me.
Are you thinking weekend brunch with your
Right,
friends?
that's
Like,
what I'm
it's the
thinking.
Or
only.
just,
okay.
I mean, but brunch food is different than breakfast and lunch food, I think. So
But
it's a
you
little more
could
decadent.
make a Monday your brunch meal. I mean, just follow your own adventure, you guys.
Are you making brunch at work or?
I'm not making anything at work. We've established that. I am getting an evergreen salad every day.
I'm a lunch or a dinner, never breakfast.
Yep,
If I go
same.
out to breakfast, I'm ordering lunch because I don't like breakfast foods.
Okay.
You don't like eggs.
I don't like eggs.
This is a good time for you. Egg prices
Yeah.
are high. You're like, whatever, I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
It is a
no
very good time
breakfast.
for me.
I could have breakfast for dinner. What about
I
you?
love breakfast food also. But I would say dinner is probably my number one. However, if it's not a normal like work day and I'm off at lunch hour, I love a deal. I love eating lunch at a restaurant because the portions are smaller
yep.
and they're
Okay.
cheaper.
Yep,
So
yep.
that is my favorite if
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like if there's no rules.
Absolutely.
I love
yeah.
a sandwich, very
Everyone-
lunchy,
yeah.
you know.
Everyone wants a deal too.
Agreed.
Do you guys, okay, meal prep, you're kind of like half the table is about meal prep, I feel like. Others are about buying lunch. So, and you're making your lunch at work, which I
It's
like
rare.
that.
Well, I mean,
Most
it's
people
more
don't.
about being lazy. I look in the fridge and I throw
To
in
me,
the
that's
lettuce.
not lazy at all. That's like
I throw
more
in the
work.
veggies and then I come here and chop it all up. I do love a fresh salad.
You inspire me to eat
I
more
love
fresh
fresh
food
salad.
at work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But then I'm also eating.
a taquito. But you also made that at work. Yeah.
Crispy beef burrito.
Hey, life is about balance.
Yes, it is.
Is there anything, and I want to say too that this teriyaki is amazing.
It's really
Kenji
good,
knows
yeah.
what he's
Really
talking
good.
about. Is there anything, and I'm looking at you, Joseph, that you shouldn't like heat up, eat around your coworkers?
Gosh.
For me, this is fish. Like when people are heating up like a salmon in like a communal microwave,
Right.
and then your whole workplace, like
Yeah.
good for you for eating healthy, like fish, the
Yeah.
whole thing. But I guess that's just coming from someone that seafood is not my
try
favorite.
not to shame other people with their food choices. If
I
you know
try
you,
to.
you don't know why people are eating what they eat, just let you do you. I know.
Oh,
I don't
come
know.
on. You don't know why they're eating what they're eating.
Well, maybe they have dietary needs. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Well, okay.
I think any cruciferous vegetable like broccoli.
I'll microwave a broccoli all day long.
cauliflower. I know.
Brussels sprouts.
I know. Brussels sprout. Oh,
I
you
try
can
not
smell
to-
it all the way down the hall.
I do try not to microwave shrimp at work, though.
Yeah.
Or shrimp or
You're
salmon.
also
Yeah.
self-reporter. You'll
Yeah.
tell
I'm
me,
like, that was
hey, I'm
me,
about to
I'm
do
sorry.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need, Rebecca.
It doesn't really bother me.
No.
I'll tell you what is the thing though is when somebody makes a bag of popcorn in the microwave and then
Oh.
that good smell goes all over the place and then you're like, I'm starving.
And then
for
everyone
popcorn.
wants
I
popcorn.
know.
Yep.
Oh, even
And
if
we only
it's
have the
burned, I
bag,
don't even
But
care.
then the smell of burned popcorn
Is
is the
bad. Oh yeah.
Not
Oh.
good.
And I feel like you'll
Gross.
smell that in a newsroom. Like
Yeah.
it happens.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if popcorn is just like a newsroom thing where we're always like,
Yeah.
I love
I
popcorn.
don't-
It's
yeah.
great.
It's a great snack.
Great snack.
New Day 2, you guys always have, we all have
Yep.
amazing guests on, chefs, and so we want to look back on some favorite cooking segments. Any memorable leftovers that come to mind for any of you guys?
Oh my gosh, this morning with the Iron Chef.
Look at Margaret.
He was, I know, he was opening Morimoto
Yeah.
here. He was
Yeah.
so nice. Binging with Babish. It was on Halloween. He left so much good food. He was Bob Ross, yeah. Chris Kimball, who founded America's Test Kitchen, right?
Oh, right.
And now he's at Milk Street.
Yeah.
This was like a relative of the woman who made The Joy of Cooking, which is like one of the most iconic American cookbooks, right?
Right. That was a great segment.
And then, Whole30 founder,
Oh
Melissa
my
Urban.
gosh. You love a Whole30 moment.
So it was great to meet her. She was so fun. And then Susie loves this one.
This was Margaret with Tom Douglas, of course, and then Chef Terry Roderow, Chef in the Hat, no longer with us. They did like an Iron Chef cook-off.
I love that.
And it was so funny. Together, they're trying to impress Margaret. They were both making eggs. It was a very funny day and a very sweet moment since Chef Terry's no longer with us. But just
a wonderful
I love that moment with them.
I'm sad I wasn't here, but that was before my time.
And Tom Douglas and Chef Terry were very, very close friends, and also, both competitors in the cooking ring. So.
Wow, that is so many amazing, fun memories. And when I'm thinking of being here so far and my journey with cooking, I've actually learned a lot and met so many amazing people that are showcasing their passion with food. So, did you always like to cook? Have you always been a foodie? Or what about the rest of you
coming here
guys?
taught me how to cook. I remember with Susie. Susie taught me how to cook a lot, I feel like, too, honestly.
Susie, I'm waiting for you.
My mother wasn't a great cook. And I actually didn't cook that much until later on. I got married, and then I started really liking to cook. I don't like to cook everyday cook. I'm one that wants to cook something that takes 5 hours or on a Saturday or Sunday, right? But I love to cook.
And see, I'm a little different from you guys, where I don't mind cooking. Cooking is fine, but I cook to eat or to feed someone. It's not necessarily something that brings me pleasure, like the process of it.
Right.
So, like, I do like some of the simple things that we do on the show. Like, I find those to be really helpful. Like, not that many ingredients, not that many steps.
Approachable.
Yeah.
Cooking is my only hobby, so. Well, I mean, really, honestly.
I need to get in on that. You guys, thank you so much for bringing all this delicious food, inspiring me every single day to, focus on my cooking journey a little more. And thank you to you all for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time, maybe with lunch.
Some segments of New Day Northwest are paid for by these fine sponsors: